When President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta wanted to run for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya for the second time in 2013, he reached out to a gentleman, Johson Sakaja. The president trusted Johson Sakaja with the communications aspect of his campaign. And the president was so impressed with the performance of Sakaja and trusted him with the new political party which the president formed. For those who follow the politics of this country, President Uhuru Kenyatta first contested in 2002, which he lost to Mwai Kibaki. In 2017, in 2007, he never contested. And then the president finally decided to contest again in 2013. So he trusted Johson Sakaja with this party, the National Alliance Party. And as a matter of fact, Johson Sakaja became, in the history of this republic, the youngest chairperson of a party, the youngest chairperson of a political party, which ended up winning the presidency. Then after that election, President Uhuru Kenyatta nominated Johson Sakaja as a member of parliament. And that was enough experience for Sakaja to now propel himself to politics. So when 2017 elections came, Johson Sakaja decided to run for the Senate of Nairobi, and he won. So when President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga had that handshake, and the president and his deputy started falling out, one man found himself in an awkward situation. Of course, there were several other individuals who found themselves in awkward situation. One of them was Johson Sakaja, because Johson Sakaja's politics has always been on the side of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the president and the deputy president also worked very closely, which meant the deputy president also worked very closely with Johson Sakaja. And as fate would have it, the president had promised to support his deputy, and Sakaja was right in the middle of those discussions. So Sakaja found himself in an awkward situation. So Kenyans were keenly waiting to see where Johson Sakaja was going to follow as politics was taking shape. So Johson Sakaja started associating more with Musalia Mudavadi. As a matter of fact, Johson Sakaja endorsed Musalia Mudavadi's bid for the presidency, and Johson Sakaja announced that he had joined ANC as a political party. But Johson Sakaja had other plans. He ended up persuading Musalia Mudavadi to join William Samoei Arap Ruto. So that's how Sakaja's politics has been. So the truth of the matter is that Johson Sakaja has finally decided to dump Musalia Mudavadi. So in this video, I want us to look at the main reasons why Johson Sakaja would dump Musalia Mudavadi, which means Johson Sakaja has opted to support William Ruto against President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So initially, in my view, what Sakaja was doing, he was marking time. He wanted to monitor how the situation was going to be, whether Uhuru and Ruto were going to reconcile, and he found solace in Musalia Mudavadi. But the truth of the matter is that Johson Sakaja has finally dumped Musalia Mudavadi and will now be supporting William Ruto. And of course, you know that by running in Nairobi on UDA ticket, it means that number will go to UDA. So why do you think Johson Sakaja dumped Musalia Mudavadi? Before we go into all those details, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you guys, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue. Thank you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, let us go very fast, because I can see the sun is almost going down there. I mean, it's almost turning to dark, to dawn. Dark is almost setting in, so I want to be a bit brief. Why do you think Johson Sakaja decided to dump ANC party and will now instead run as UDA candidate? 4 reasons or 5. Number 1 is the Kikuyu factor. You know, in Nairobi politics is very interesting and straightforward. If you study the politics of Nairobi since 1992, moving forward up to even the last election, it's always been the Kikuyus, the Luos, the Luyas. In the last, in 2007, we had the Kikuyus, the Luos and the Luyas, and these other supporting tribes. Then in 2013, the same. 2017, the same. But in this year's elections, it's going to be a bit different. The Luos, the Kikuyus, and the Luyas might actually vote in the same direction, although the majority of Kikuyus might decide to go with the UDA party. And because majority of Kikuyus in Nairobi are in UDA party, what Sakaja is looking for is someone who will be acceptable to them. UDA as a political party is a party which the Kikuyu nation have actually accepted. And this is why Sakaja is running as a UDA candidate, so that when they'll face off with Margaret Wanjiru, the Kikuyus will decide to choose. If they'll choose Sakaja as the preferred candidate, then you'll be assured that Sakaja will have the support of the Kikuyus who will be supporting UDA in Nairobi. And that's why he's making that move. If he were to remain in ANC, I don't think ANC as a political party would be embraced by the Kikuyu nation. So the truth of the matter is that the Sakaja is looking at the Kikuyu votes. So that's number one. Number two is the campaign funding. The truth of the matter is that campaigns are normally very expensive venture. William Ruto has great interest in Nairobi politics. And the other truth is that Johson Sakaja, I'm not sure, or I don't know whether he can fund that campaign. So Johson Sakaja has figured out that if Mudavadi could not fund his own presidential campaigns and went to Ruto, why not him? Nairobi is not like Kakamega. So Johson Sakaja is looking for funding. And the only person who can easily fund his campaign is none other than the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, because William Ruto has serious interest in Nairobi. So if Sakaja will be nominated as the UDA candidate in Nairobi, the truth and the fact is that William Ruto will pump a lot of money in Johson Sakaja's campaign so that he can be able to win. Because if William Ruto will not be able to perform well in Nairobi, he will be doomed. So the Kikuyu factor. Johson Sakaja is using science. I think it's someone who has interest in statistics. So he's using science. He's figured out that for him to win Nairobi, he needs the Luya votes, he needs the Kikuyu votes, and he also needs the money. So Kikuyu votes he can only get by associating with UDA. Then again, from there, he can then get the funding from Ruto. So that's the second thing. The third factor which is making Sakaja opt for UDA and not NC party is now what I call UDA popularity in Nairobi. You know, if you compare UDA as a political party and you compare it to NC as a political party, which party is more popular in Nairobi? The truth of the matter is that UDA is more popular in Nairobi than ANC party. So it would go without saying that Sakaja would definitely go for the UDA ticket. The other factor which you should also understand is that William Ruto is keen on the Luya votes in Nairobi, but he's not keen on those Luya votes going to him through ANC party. He's keen on those Luya votes going to his party directly, and that's why in where Luyas have two constituencies in Nairobi. That is, they have a bit of presence in Kibra, so he has a candidate there. The Luyas also have a bit of presence, good presence in Dagoretti, where Arati was the member of parliament. In Dagoretti and also in Westlands. So in Westlands, he's sponsoring another Luya on ANC ticket, on UDA ticket. So those factors, and I'm trying to imagine that probably William Ruto persuaded him not to run as ANC, but to run as UDA. So it's about the UDA popularity. Number three, I think this is also a strategy by the DP to force ANC party to support UDA candidates in Nairobi. Now, if, for example, UDA has managed to get Nelson Havi in in Westlands. They have managed to get Mariga in Kibra, and now they have managed to get Sakaja, who is a very close friend of Musalia Mudavadi, as the candidate for the governor. I mean, is there any options left for Mudavadi? He will have no options but to support these UDA candidates. So I think what the DP has done is been very, very strategic. He identified strong candidates who are lawyers and then put them forward. And Mudavadi has been meeting with them. And then in the women rep, he has Millicent Omanga. Very interesting. In the hope that Musalia Mudavadi will support Millicent Omanga and Kisses will support Millicent Omanga. Millicent Omanga being a UDA candidate, the Kikoyos will support Millicent Omanga. So his strategy is that Musalia Mudavadi will not have any option, because if anything, the best option for the DP would have been, let Sakaja have this candidate, this governor, then let someone else have ANC party have the Senate. But in William Ruto's calculations, he wants Margaret Wanjiru to be the senatorial candidate, so that after Sakaja wins the nominations, of course he will be aided, then Margaret Wanjiru will now become the Senate candidate. So lawyers will be out of that equation. And lastly, I think Johson Sakaja, being someone who understands statistics, has figured out for him to win in Nairobi, he must have the lawyer vote. He must have the Kikuyu votes. And then he must also project himself as a nationalist. Johson Sakaja is being alleged to be a Kalenjin, which I don't want to get into. So I want to assume he's a lawyer. So as a lawyer candidate having a UDA ticket, it means he will convince the Luhya nation that he has that chance of winning. So assuming in ODM, Tim Wanyonyi will not succeed, or let's assume Tim Wanyonyi will succeed as the ODM candidate, then on the other side we have Ngatia on Jubilee. So Azimio will have two candidates, and then Sakaja coming from that side as also a lawyer candidate. So it means Sakaja's calculations is that if these two gentlemen will run, then he can get a good chunk of Kikuyu votes, he can get a good chunk of lawyer votes, because he'll appear as a lawyer candidate, and then he will penya katikati ya this guy. So in my view, that's the main reason why Sakaja has opted for UDA. If you ask me, it's the best options for Sakaja, because if Sakaja were to run as ANC, I don't think he will have much impact. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.